All right, we're gonna talk about this is the Negaspedia Negranica. And today's where I want to key on two things. Amduat, which is the Egyptian religion about duality, how it is on both sides of the world, duality. And it's from Amduat is the religion of King Seti the first. And King Seti was in like the 19th dynasty in the new kingdom of Egypt, okay? Which would be Seti the first. His predecessor was Ramesses the first, 19th dynasty, 1304 through 1192 BC, how they chronicled it in the Britannica. Okay. Seti is, the reign of Seti is 1303 to 1290 BC. Seti the first. He is the father of Ramesses the second. Ramesses the Great. So Ramesses the first is the father of Seti. So or the predecessor. So in that period, Amduat is like a map chronicling the Egyptian cartography of the whole world. And it's the way the Egyptians saw the world, with the earth aligned with Heaven, with the Stargate, with the like this particular star grid that presides over every region of the earth. Say, for instance, if it's 14 regions of earth where the Egyptian empire reigned over the whole circumference of the world. The 12 constellations. They mark 12 constellations, 12 to 14 constellations. And Amduat is 14. Not just 12, it's 14 divisions. So I want to look at the other pyramid that is compared to the Giza complex in Egypt, which is in Mexico. It's called Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan and Nahuatl is the city of the gods. That's what the word means. City of the gods. There's a sun god, there's a moon deity. Just like in Egypt. Similar. It's precisely the same thing. They don't know. The Europeans who are there are Latins, Spaniards, some are the French, some are now German and British. Like they have British Honduras. The European Union is there, trying to figure it out, trying to make programs, but they're not the people who these things belong to. They don't really know the historicity on it. So, say Teotihuacan, Nahuatl, the city of the gods, or where men become gods. The most important and largest city of pre-Columbian central Mexico, located about 33 miles, 50 kilometers northeast of modern Mexico City. The most reliable dating places, the earliest inhabitants of the region of what was to become the city at about 400 BC. Its formal planning as a metropolis. Start right there. So this city was begun, the planning of this city was begun around about 400 BC. So let me look in the Annals of the Kings of Egypt. The last kingdom Egyptian of the native Egyptian people, the last kingdom after the Persian period, 404 to 341 BC. So that's the dynasty of 29th dynasty. So I mentioned the 19th dynasty from the time of Ramesses the first to the last Egyptian dynasty, the last Egyptian kingdom. 404 through 341 BC. It's going to end with Naktanambo. It's the last of the Egyptian natives, black people. They're the last black people to rule Egypt. Nectanambo, who is proven to be the biological father of Alexander the Great. And every European nation now claims their lineage or their claim to Egypt is through Alexandria. But they have chronicled him to be the son of Philip of Macedon II, King Philip II of Macedon. Now Greece and Europe has a claim to the throne of Egypt. And that's why the white people have flooded into the gateway of the Pharaoh's house, in the house of God in Egypt. The Lord your God in Egypt, at the second pyramid at Giza, is king of Africa, Khafra. So the life force of the sun god, the life force of the land of the sun god. He is the life force of the land of the sun god. That's what the word Africa means. The land of Ra, the sun god, the god of the sun. The land of the god of the sun. And his life force is here on that land. So that's why the pyramid is telling you he transmigrated. His spirit, his soul is in heaven with God up there. He is like Zeus. He is the Amon Zeus that the Greeks are talking about. Amon Ra is Zeus to them. God of lightning and thunder and electricity and shit. The thunderbolt, lightning. That's from the Great Pyramid. It controlled it. The raft of heaven was in that. You see what I'm telling you? That's Jupiter. Jupiter is the man they call Khafra. Well, not Khafra. He is from Zeus. The planner, the god who preceded them in the pre-dynastic period. So whoever gave them the thought to build it, Thoth the Atlantean, who the Bible calls biblical Enoch. So we did the chronology in the Bible, and it's aligning itself with all the kings in the annals of the kings of Egypt. Everything that they say in the history of these buildings they're finding, it's like I said, 400 BC lines up with the last Egyptian kingdom of black men, who ends with the biological father of Alexander Great, Nectanambo II. And that's the Greeks' claim to Egypt through Nectanambo, who was the last of the pharaohs. He, in the Kebra and the Gas, that says he was a magician who had an affair with Olympias, a woman who was being put away by her husband, who happened to be the king of Macedonia. So, all right, this is the enmity that began between the black and the white man. As the white woman was put away by the white man, and she found her a Negro. And what they called it in the old South in the United States, she became a nigger lover. She loved the nigger. So, and the word nigger, niggas, Negus, a nigger. The niggas means king of Ethiopia, king of Africa. Just like Khafra. Khafra is the king of kings in Africa. He built the second pyramid. These were men of God. The Amon priesthood, Amon Ra, okay? The last of the Egyptian kingdom, Teotihuacan in Mexico. The plans of this building, the plans of that city, began at about 400 BC. So I mentioned King Seti the first in the mortuary tomb of King Seti. He explains how he, in a boat, traveled all around the world and all in a line, in a straight line. He went all the way around the world from the east to the west in 14 divisions of Amduat. It's like a constellation or a zodiac sign. How he explains it. I'm gonna go in detail. So, its formal planning, Teotihuacan, the city of the gods, the pyramid of the moon, pyramid of the sun, God. That's Amon-Ra in Egypt. This place I say called Teotihuacan. In the book Amduat, look it right here. I have it laid out. I had made copies of it from its original source and brought it to my house so I can personally examine it myself. Let me name all the place. The first place in Amduat, the first constellation or zodiac, which I believe will be the pre-dynastic period. Before 3114 BC. It's like they say the Aztec calendar stone, the stone of the fifth sun, with Tona Taiu on the deity in the middle of it. The cycle begins at 3114 BC. In the pre-dynastic period of Egypt, and that's called Net-Ra. Net-Ra. The sun god Ra had begun there. Ernest, like your niece. It's the second division. It's like they have in the encyclopedia. It's a place called Babylon of Akkad, or the Akkadian period. In Sumer, okay, that's the place they travel to from Net-Ra. But I believe where Ra is on the mythical Bin stone, where the mound where he ascends onto the earth as Amon. The god of the sun made him a body on the earth, formed a man, and he emerged from Net-Ra. The Net-Ra is where that mythical floating island that Herodotus is talking about is called Philae or Philia. Philae. Journeys, I says Babylon, the place called Net-Nebe, Keheperot. So we going east on this grid right here. And then Anket Keheperu, which I believe is at the international date line. The way those lines break off. Somewhere in Southeast Asia and Indonesia. That's the fourth division. It's called Anket Keheperu. That fifth division, which I believe is where they're saying Teotihuacan is. The planning of the city of Teotihuacan in Mexico. It's called Amenti. Ament. The fifth division of Amduat. So, which would be here in Oaxaca in Mexico, on the Pacific side of Mexico. Straight line. The Olmec centers. That's the region where the Olmecs are. The period is called. Hold up, let me see. Albane. Let me see what's it. But that's the Olmec centers. the fifth division, the Amenti. Start right there. Ament. The holes of a min. Hole of records. The Negospedia Negranica. Negaspedia Negranica for the niggas. The kings of Africa. The African kings. Okay.